want to get you back over to Jennifer Donnellan, who is joining us now on the phone. And Jen, any confirmation, anything from D.C. Police? Right now, all we have to go off of is Capitol Police.
Yes, we are official now. We are official as of 10:10 a.m. this morning. The official word, D.C. Police putting out a press release. And I'm going to quote it. A call was placed from inside a building. A call was placed from a building inside of the Washington Navy Yard for possible sounds of gunshots around 7:29 a.m. A subsequent request was made to partner law enforcement agencies for assistance. Here's the quote. At this time, we have completed our search of the building and have found no evidence of a shooting or injured personnel. The scene has been turned back over to the Vice Admiral of Navy Command. That is official, and this confirms what we were hearing from sources this morning, that this began with a call for a sound of gunshots. This did not start with somebody calling saying, I'm seeing somebody shooting, I'm seeing a gun, I'm seeing wounded people. This began with a sound of gunshots. D.C. Police just confirming that approximately 5 minutes ago, that it was a sound of gunshots, that call coming in at 7:29 a.m. They activated, they called in outside law enforcement agencies for assistance. They have completed their search of the building. We have no evidence of a shooting, no injured people. That's the news we've been waiting for. That is the best news of the day. The families who have people who work in that building can now rest easy. Everyone is safe.
That is remarkable. That is the news that we have been waiting for and the news that we have been hoping for, Jennifer. So I just want to clarify with you, based on this press release that you just received, there was a phone call for possible gunfire. And then just minutes later, there was a subsequent call that was a request for additional officers?
For partner law enforcement agencies for assistance. Okay. So that's going to be your FBI, that's going to be your Secret Service, that's going to be your Capitol Police, your Park Police. I mean, we can run the gamut here. FBI Police. It's Washington, D.C. We have too many police agencies to count inside the city, which is a great thing at a time like this. So they call in all the partner law enforcement agencies, and they have completed their search of the building. And the fact that they're coming out and confirming this, they have to feel pretty darn good that they have searched that building and found nothing. Otherwise, they would not have come out and said this. So the quote is, we've completed our search, we have found no evidence, and they have turned this scene back over to the Navy. So MPD is releasing their authority of the scene. They're turning it back over to the Navy. What we're going to start seeing in the streets, you're going to start to see officers coming out. We're going to see those flashing lights. It's going to be a while because this was a massive response. And I'm assuming we're going to see these press conferences happen pretty quickly. But I know that things, according to my sources, they're telling me that things went very smoothly this morning. They worked the way they were supposed to. The communication was good, that there were lessons learned from 2013. Not that anything was done horribly wrong, but they wanted to make improvements with communications between the agencies. This is continuing education. You never stop learning with situations like this. And they trained, they retrained, they got the call, unfortunately, once again. They moved into action, they did what they were supposed to do, and I think they're feeling very confident right now that nothing was found, otherwise we would not have seen that press release come out.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, that was speedy, because within 3 hours now they have turned that facility back over to the Vice Admiral from NAVC Command. So they got in there fast. And Jennifer, just to kind of piggyback off of something that you mentioned very early on in this investigation, was the rapid response from the myriad of agencies. And it is something that you said was an unfortunate lesson learned from what happened in 2013. But to go off of what you're seeing in this press release, and you've got the call for the initial report of possible gunfire, and then within just minutes you've got that request for additional law enforcement officers from additional agencies. That shows you how well their training has been and how much they have focused on coordination with other agencies.
Yeah, and just to be clear, too, I mean, the concerns in 2013 wasn't that they didn't get there fast enough. It was that everybody got there, and it was sort of, there was miscommunication in terms of, like, who goes in, who goes out, how do we do this, and And that was the lesson learned. And from what I'm understanding, and I think we're going to probably hear more about this from the chief coming up here, is, how that went this morning. And, the fact of the matter is, the best news is we don't have anybody hurt. The best news is we don't have a situation here. And while some may look at this and say, oh, my gosh, what a response, they learned lessons this morning, too. Not in terms of when not to respond, but just in terms of that was a heck of a drill. And there's going to be good stuff that came out of this morning as well. This was not, in any sense, a waste of resources. This was a show of force. This was coordinated from what I understand, and I'm sure they've learned even more from this. So we're even better prepared for, God forbid, if anything ever happens in the future. I don't think anything but good has come from this morning. Communication to the public was clear, and the response was taken care of. And again, what else can we ask for, right? Those two words. Yeah. Nothing found.
Best possible outcome, you're right. An unfortunate disruption, but what a remarkable response from every agency involved. Certainly a pat on the back to all of those officers who got down there and were able to conduct this investigation, were able to conduct this sweep there on the Navy Yard grounds, and were able to bring us the news that we had only hoped for. So Jennifer Donnellan, thank you so much calling in with the official all clear given from D.C. Police Department. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jim.
Absolutely.
It's 10:20 now, and we do anticipate this press briefing happening in about 25 minutes, around 10:45. That's the latest time frame that we have been given. We expect to see D.C. Police Chief Kathy Lanier, who had already confirmed via email to our Brad Bell that no guns had been found and that no victims had been found, no shooting suspect had been found. As they wrapped up their investigation, we expect to hear her speak at this press briefing. We also expect to hear from an admiral with the Naval Sea Systems Command. So we'll bring that to you live. We are standing by. We are mic'd up, ready to go, just waiting for those officials to take to the microphones, and we'll hear exactly what they have to say about exactly what all did unfold this morning there just outside the Navy Yard. But as we take a live look at the scene still along M Street, this is not going to open up anytime soon. And our Suzanne Kennedy is down there in the midst of all of it, and she has been there for us all morning long with the very latest. So, Suzanne, I wanted to ask you, with the all clear given at the Navy Yard, I know you'd been reporting that Department of Transportation officials had been telling their employees to go home for the day. Are you hearing any kind of update on any of the surrounding buildings actually telling employees to come back into work?
We haven't heard anything along those lines. Everybody that we talked with earlier, their supervisors were telling them just to go home for the day, and they were encouraging them. Some people stood around the Department of Transportation for a little while. We did see some people head back toward that building, and that's when we initially thought the building was reopening. That wasn't the case. They told people to go home, and a lot of people did that. Also, given tomorrow's a federal holiday, they just checked out and headed home. We want to show you what's going on right now here. This road was literally packed with law enforcement vehicles for the last 2.5 hours, but as you can see, a lot of them have cleared out. Within the last 20 minutes, we have seen federal agents pull out, FBI agents pull out, D.C. police. We have also seen D.C. Fire and EMS pull out some of their manpower here as well. People heading out, heading the opposite direction than we saw about 2.5 hours ago when they all were heading toward the Naval Yard. And now instead they're coming back, they're packing up their equipment, obviously confirming what Jennifer Donnellan has been reporting for the last few minutes, that the all clear has been given. But I want to also take you over here. We've been talking a lot about this Harris Teeter, and this area is starting to clear out. And as you can see, some employees are headed that way. They're going to head back to get their vehicles. A lot of people saying that they were ready to get their vehicles and ready to go home. People heading back toward the Navy Yard. They had been hanging out here at the Harris Teeter. Now they're going to head back to their buildings, try to get their belongings, and head home. But I was talking with someone just a few minutes ago as we were waiting to go live here again, and he was saying to me that a lot of people had concerns about going back to this building after the $6 million renovation that took place. going back last February. They were concerned because they remembered what had happened in September of 2013, and they were on the fence about going back. And he was saying that he's already heard colleagues saying after that incident back in September and now this false incident here, a lot of people are concerned that this brings back a lot of the memories that people had worked through back after September 2013. And some people saying they really don't feel comfortable going back, that it brings back too many bad memories. They had worked through them, and now this sort of brings it back up to the surface again. So it will be interesting to see what the impact is on people who work in Building 197. It is a good thing, certainly, that they're heading home today and have a long weekend to sort of decompress after what's happened here today. But universally, we are hearing from people that they feel like it was handled well inside the building, that they were told to shelter in place, that the police came through the building to get them out, and that they left the building quite rapidly when they needed to be evacuated. People saying it was handled quite well. So certainly lessons learned from the first incident, but people with memories of the first one and now today may feel a little bit reticent about going back there come Monday.
Yeah, unbelievable day that they have lived through today, Suzanne, but the best possible outcome as they continue to wrap up their investigation.
Certainly.
Suzanne, thank you for your reporting.